Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragoon X Omega II. It's time for the first bonus episode where we take on the first extra boss, the She-Bitch. It's in the cemetery in Endengard. I said I can take it out at level 40, which I was able to do at the my test run, but it took me like 2 hours of just fighting her at level 40, and I just got tired. It's kind of luck-based in a sense. And so I was like, well, I'm tired of just fighting her, so I just went out and did a little bit of leveling, got to level 45, I was like, okay, now I'm going to try it again. So here I am back at level 45, and it actually works out for me. So it is a little bit like a sort of a luck-based fight. We want to start off with our a medulla implant, because as you can see, the first thing that the enemy can cast is the fall spell. Fall is instant death. And we just want to protect against that, so the medulla will prevent that. Then of course we're going to do all our buffs. We're going to put shield up, we're going to put agnost up, we're going to put shadow up, and then we're going to blitz ourselves so that we can attack, get 2 rounds of attacks. The luck base comes with this thing right here. Mainly we're trying to get the PSI block to work. We need to have the PSI block because the 4th spell in this vampire's list is Aurorus. That will restore her to full health, and we're not going to be able to do enough damage to defeat her unless we have like the ultimate weapon to defeat her in the amount of turns it's going to take before she casts that Aurorus spell. So, but once we get the PSI block up, like I said, it's kind of luck based. Once you get it up, then she falls pretty easily. So we just keep casting the PSI block, and eventually, there we got the Aurora spell. We want to save our Aurora spell for when she hits us, and there we go. We finally got it up. The mind is probed, and now all those spells that she can use on us basically are pointless because PSI blocked them. Basically, we have the stop spell up. So, we're going to heal ourselves up here. Now, all we have to really worry about is her physical attacks. And, like I said, as long as we heal ourselves up, we should be okay. So, I'm keeping track on a calculator. One thing I did do that was wrong, I forgot to equip the rail rifle. So, my damage isn't all that good when I'm hitting because I kept the pulse rifle on, because when I was doing that grinding, I said the best place to grind is in that tunnel, and in that tunnel where the renders never run away from you, and they're weak to the pulse gun, so I totally forgot to de-equip the pulse gun and put the rail gun on. So this fight could have been a little faster if I would have went with the rail gun, but as you can see, the pulse gun will suffice. It's going to take a few extra turns. But we don't have to worry about time anymore, because otherwise you're fighting against her casting the Aurora spell. You don't have to worry about that anymore because she has been muted. So we just keep pumping away at her. And the damage isn't all that good. So eventually I'm going to start moving on toward the using some attack spells. Eventually I'll end up using my own Nova spells, but I don't want to use them all up right away because I want to keep just to be safe when I have an Aurora spell or 2 in the back pocket. Because even though her spells can't hit us anymore, she can still hit pretty hard, even with that shield and the shadow up. Once you get that the PSI block up, you're pretty much guaranteed a win, as long as she doesn't get lucky and hit a critical hit on you. Critical hit can do about 300 damage, so we want to keep our health close to the 400 range. When we get to around that 300 range, we want to use a healing spell on ourselves. We keep the Aurorus on hand, because normally if we get down to around like 300, we can use the Aura Tap. let's say she hit us with a critical hit right now, we'd be brought down to like, you know, maybe a little under 100, and we'd want to go right to that Aurora spell. So right now, we're just slightly below 300 or right around 300. We can work on the with the Aura Tap spell. Fusion is a perfect spell to waste because, like I said, we only have to use Blitz on ourselves once. It never stacks. So we just Fusion. We can use all those spells up on that level. Doing a little bit more damage than a regular attack. The rail rifle might have been able to get to 200, but like I said, it's kind of luck based getting that PSI block to work. Like I said, I tried for about 2 hours, wasn't getting it at all. Got bored of trying, so I just went and did a little bit of leveling and came back and managed to get it to land on the first fight back. So I was like, do I really want to refight this fight again just with the rail rifle? Like, nah. It'll just take a little less time, but it'll take more time, of course, for me to redo the entire fight, so. If you're at this level, basically the same stats for the most part, same equipment. You should be able, like I said, once you get that PSI block on, you'll be able to take out. Now the important thing is, between episodes, one of the things I did was I sold that Vermis implant, because the Vermis is basically to block the stare. We're not really worried about stare right now, we're more worried about the fall. Fall, like I said, is instant death, and with only one party member, we don't want to game over, so. You could, if you want, keep the Vermis and sell the Globulus, but I wanted the extra 7 defense that the Globulus gives. Well, the extra 6 defense, that gives 6, all the other implants only give 1. So, I wanted to, like I said, just keep the Globulus just for extra defense. 7 defense probably ain't helping all that much, but it's a little bit better than more use than Vermis would do. Because once we get the ultimate armor, which we get when we defeat the second optional boss, we do the optional dungeon, the power plant. That armor basically has resistance to pretty much everything, so that'll be more than enough to protect against the stare spell. Now, the stare spell, the good thing about that is the second boss doesn't have the stare spell, so like I said, that Vermis implant would only really be good for this boss here. Now, like I said, we're gonna get a little extra damage using our Nova spell. Like I said, we'll keep the Aurora spells in reserve though, just to be safe. You don't want to get her down to, you know, like maybe 100 hit points left, and then she hits you with a critical hit and finishes you off. So, I have a calculator on hand, slowly keeping up. Right now, I could have probably cast one more Nova spell. If I would have rolled high, maybe around like in the 500 range, I would have been able to finish her off. But I didn't want to risk it, because sometimes, like I said, the Nova does random damage between like 3 and 600, and if we roll one of those 300s, well, we would, she'd still have some hit points left, and we would have no way to maximize our health, just to be safe, so. Sometimes, like I said, it's better to play defensively, especially against, like I said, these super bosses, and especially against the enemies that are going to be fighting in the nuclear plant. I'll be going there right after this. Yeah, we gained quite a bit of experience, a bunch of Arca. Like I said, the medulla implant is right there on that skull, so you could have got that much earlier in the game, but there's no reason to come back here all this way to, like I said, to potentially fight her, the vampire there. Stay at the clinic, of course, save our game. We don't want to have to do that fight over again. And even though anything pretty much on the way back to where we're going, to the nuclear plant, isn't going to be much of a threat, you never know. Always better safe than sorry. So we'll get to see much of the overworld again. This is way back at the beginning. Second town there, Endengard. So we get to go through the swamp here again, go through the Great Divide again. But we want to go through the sledge mine again because the rail jet takes you right beyond the Great Divide. You get to see a lot of old enemies, a lot of old things. That's why I decided to keep this in, just to refresh your memory of. It's always nice to retrace our old paths that we took. Here we are back in the Great Divide. There was the arrow key and the sun key we had to use. The enemies used to be tough. Now they're all basically running away from Sargon. He's so powerful. Yeah, the only thing that ain't gonna be running away from Sargon at this point is those enemies in the nuclear power plant. And they are tough, basically just like a boss. So I actually died twice while farming them, getting the stats for them. So, but the good thing is we have a bunch of SRAMs, so we take the rail jet, we take this long passage back by Sanzia, going toward the library, by the aqueduct over here. We're gonna, like I said, use one of those SRAMs to make our save here. Now, when we actually go to fight the boss in here, it's kind of a small dungeon. The gimmick is, at different intervals, the lights will shut off, and you have to find a computer terminal to turn the lights back on. So, the 2 times I died in here was fighting these Marduks. Even though they have no skills, I got lucky here that they came in a pack of 1, and I had a preemptive strike against them. Normally they come in packs of 2, and as you can see, they hit really, really hard. Even if you had the shield spell up, they're still going to hit you for over like 100 damage. And when there's 2 of them hitting at you, you know, they're taking off maybe close to 300 damage. And if they go before you and you don't cast the Aurora spell, they can knock you out in like 2 or 3 rounds. So, like I said, I got lucky there. Managed to take out the Marduk. Now the Marduk is kind of just a normal enemy. The other enemies in here, including the boss, are going to be weak to the pulse because they're cyborg enemies. So you see the Samuel is basically a robot. So if we're fighting this normally, we'd probably want to, like I said, cast the Agnos spell. As you can see, it casts quite a few spells on us. Cast the Blitz as well to be able to whittle its hit points down quickly. As you can see, they give a ton of experience. So, and leveling up will be really, really quick. At level 45, like I said, that's when I was able to take out the bonus boss. So I'm actually 1 level higher than my test run. But I'm not going to take on that second bonus boss in this episode. He's going to take a while, and I don't want to, you know, make this episode stretch too long. We'll get to see the bonus episode, and I'll defeat him there, and the second bonus episode, defeat him there, and show off the awesomeness of how awesome the final equipment is. The armor and the weapon are just so overpowered. It's basically the stuff from Dragoon X Omega I. It'll be the Omega rifle and the Gamma armor. And these guys who are using all our spell charges on to defeat really quickly, we're just gonna laugh at them. They're gonna be so strong. Like I said, I'm gonna end up fighting the Neverborn again with the ultimate equipment. And that battle took about 10.5 minutes normally. Let's just see how fast it'll go with the ultimate gear. So I'm gonna make a quick save here then. Use another one of the SRAMs, and I'm going to just off screen go back to town and heal myself up, and then come back and take on this nuclear power plant and the second ultimate boss on the next episode. Take care, have a good one. Bye.